Alright, so I'm back for another video. This one, I'm gonna try to, keep relatively short too. Most of my videos, I'm gonna try to keep it about like 7 minutes, and I do keep track of the time. If I have to cover a subject that's longer than that, I'm gonna go ahead and split up the time. So, like, part of it will be in one 7 minute video, and the other parts will be in the other 7 minute videos. So you guys get the point on that. But basically, in this video right here, I wanted to kind of go over a little bit about my childhood. I'll start with my childhood for this video because I could probably get that done within 7 minutes if I try my best not to go off track. But basically, I had a really good early childhood. Like from as long as I can remember, I was I think I was like 4 years old when I had my first memories. I remember me and my sister being really happy. I remember my mom being separated from my dad, but doing her best to take care of us. And I remember, having little toys I would play with, and just taking walks with my mom to go see my sister at school. And I remember, really just really being happy to be alive. I guess you could say as a child, I really did appreciate the fact that I existed in the first place. Like I remember that 4 years old, just being so just comfortable and happy, And then when I turned about 7 years old, that's when things took a turn for the worst. I My dad, he was always an alcoholic since before I was born. He wasn't a bad guy. He had a major drinking problem, and when I say major, I'm talking like drinking screwdrivers from like sun up until sundown. I don't even know how he did it, to be honest with you, because like I could never even drink like maybe three or four of them without feeling like if I had any more, I'd probably want to throw up or something. But my dad, he could just drink and drink and drink like it was water. I mean, I just and of course he would get drunk, and he never he never got aggressive with me or my daughter or anything like that. But anyway, he did have a major drinking problem. Now, in terms of aggression or in terms of abuse and all that, that's where I was about to get to. Is when I turned about 7 years old. This is after being very having a very pleasant life. Very happy childhood up until about 7 years old, and then what happened is my dad remarried a woman after my mom. She was a Native American. She is a Native American lady. Her name is Yuri. And what happened is we went to go visit my dad, me and my sister, because he wanted us to visit him during the summertime. So I remember being really excited at that point to go see my dad, because I love my dad, and I wanted to see him, but I did not have never met this woman before. I had never met her before. I'd only heard about her, and so what happened is me and my sister we got on a plane. We took a plane out there to see my dad for I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks, and I remember meeting the woman, meeting my dad's new wife, and I remember thinking like, well, that's cool. My dad's got a new woman in his life, and he's seems like he's doing pretty happy. I mean, of course, I wanted him to be with my mom, but I mean, I was I was happy for him either way. And boy, did I not know what I was in for during that 3 week period that I was there. My goodness. Yeah. To to try and simplify it, because I don't want to get into all the different things that took place. Basically, she was an alcoholic too. My dad and her got together. They were both alcoholics. They would both drink together all day and all night. And but the problem is my dad had to go to work, and he would leave us with her. And what happened is during those times that he would leave us, I don't exactly remember why or when or how it started, but the lady Yuri became extremely abusive physically towards me and towards my sister. And I was about 7 years old, like I said at the time. My sister was about 10 years old at the time. And what I mean by physically abusive is, you know, beatings, slapping us across the face, dragging me across the floor by my hair. Uh, I didn't have long hair back then like I do now, but it was, long enough that she could get a hold of it and drag me across the floor. Making me sit in the room for hours on end, lock the door so I couldn't get out. Bringing me into dark rooms at night and just interrogating me and asking me questions. If I didn't answer the question right, she would just smack me right across the face. Obviously, I was completely terrified. 7-year-old kid, never having experienced anything like this before, and all of a sudden, here's this insane, I have to say, just demon possessed woman or whatever it was, just totally taking advantage of someone else's kids, totally taking advantage of someone else's children. I mean, it's not like she did have her own child at the time, but she didn't want anything to do with her really. So, and now looking back, I can see why. But and we'll get into that in the future too, because actually she plays a part in what came later. She actually is kind of like a superhero for me as a kid for what she did for me. But we'll get into that in another video. But anyway, we're getting to that 7-minute mark. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and stop it. And then I will pick up again in the next video.